Hi, Ben here and welcome back to the workshop, and today we're working on some pretty fancy Damascus steel, so I thought it'd be a good time to show you how I go about etching it. So I'm using some Damasteel. So this is a patterned Damascus steel that's a stainless Damascus, and this is produced by the company Damasteel out in Sweden. Now they produce obviously this pattern welded stainless Damascus. They also produce RWL34, which we use a lot for our knives, but this pattern welded Damascus steel is pretty incredible. There's lots of different patterns you can choose from, and it's a real high-end performance steel. As well as looking great, it actually cuts and performs fantastic as well. Now these are just a couple of patterns that I've got. The choice is quite unbelievable really. So obviously at this stage you can crudely see the pattern, but we tend to produce the knife blade that we need to make when it's that sort of stage, when it's annealed. And I've produced a few little nomad blades in some slightly thinner Damasteel. This one's just rough, still got all the sort of oxidization colours from heat treatment. Then I've got one that's got the total finish final grind and obviously polished. And at that stage there is like zero sort of pattern showing through. Maybe just slightly if you hold it at the right angle, but basically you wouldn't even know that that was Damascus. And then I've got some that are basically prepared, ready for the actual etching. Now some people will totally polish a blade, go through thousands of grits, and then they'll etch it at that stage. I find that it works really nicely if you actually take it to about 400 grit, make sure you put your logo in, things like that, and then blast it. Now I've blasted this with about 180 grit silica carbide, and the main thing is to get a very even finish. Some people think that because you're going to be etching it in acid, you can leave a really rough finish on there, but all it does is it will just accentuate any sort of scratches and things in your blade steel. So I've got these nomads pretty much prepared, ready to go. And you'll notice that I'm wearing gloves. It's very important that you keep them clean. So if you are going to go for the sanded finish, you might have to make sure that you clean them down before you etch them with some acetone to make sure that there's no oil or even grease from your fingers on there. Now you can use different things. Some people use ferric chloride, which is a little bit safer. I'm actually using sulfuric acid, which is basically battery acid. So you have to be very, very careful. Now for the ease of filming, we're doing it indoors today. Normally I do all this outside so that I've got plenty of ventilation, because this does give off gas basically when you're etching the blades. And if you aren't doing it outdoors, you want to make sure you wear a respirator. Certainly make sure that you've got some goggles on. So the few things that you need is obviously your etchant, which is the sulfuric acid. And then what I've got in this little bath is I've got my sulfuric acid that I've used a few times. You can store it in a plastic or a glass container. And what I've done is I've got it up to temperature basically. So I've got this little bath of water, which I've got some warm water in there. It doesn't want to be boiling, but a nice warm bath of water just to bring your acid up to temperature. If you use it at room temperature, you'll find that it will take a lot longer. So this should be nice and warm now. So what I'm going to do is, with my gloves on, I'm going to take one of our prepared blades, and I've got a little bit of stainless steel rod which I can suspend the blade into the acid. Now I'm going to put my goggles down just in case it gives off any gas. And like I say, I would be wearing a respirator normally, so we're going to take that and place it into the acid, and pretty much straight away you'll start to see that it starts to fizz and sort of effervesce. So that's starting to sort of bite into the steel, and it's starting to sort of eat into that sort of pattern of the Damascus itself. Now the reason why the pattern will reveal, it's made from two different steels. So one will be eaten away by the acid quicker than the sort of other steel. So it will relieve that sort of pattern, and it will be really nice and sort of decorative when it's finished. Now time wise, I tend to leave it in there for about 10 minutes and then take it out and have a look. And if the etch isn't sufficient, then I can then clean it and then put it back in the acid for another session. So I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes and then we'll come back to it and see how it looks. So while our blade is etching in the acid, because we're using an acid, we need to prepare a neutralizer, because obviously we want to make sure that the blade doesn't go rusty or the etch keeps continuing even when we take it out of the acid. So using an acid, so obviously we want to use an alkali of some form to neutralise that, and you can use it in your kitchen, but a little bit of bicarbonated soda goes a long way. So what I've got is an old plastic beaker. I've got some cold water in there, and I'm just going to shake in a bit of bicarb. I don't think you can be too generous with that. And then what we'll do is we'll just add a little bit more warm water from the kettle, and that's going to produce our neutralizer. So when we bring the knife out of the acid, we'll dunk it in there. That will neutralize the acid totally, make it safe to then have a look at, and that should be good to go. So we'll just give that a little stir, and that should work really nicely as a neutralizer. So obviously I'm using bicarb. Some people will use Windex because that's got ammonia in it. You can use whatever works for you, but I find that the bicarb is fairly easy to use and it's fairly safe as well, so that works great. So it's had about 10-15 minutes now in the acid, so we'll just have a little look, see what it's looking like. So you can see it's still fizzing away quite nicely. So I'll take it out, and even at this stage you can just have a cursory look, and obviously you can see that that pattern has already started to reveal, and it's personal choice really of how deep you want that etch to go. I don't particularly like it super duper deep because obviously we've got the Scandi grind on there and I don't want it excessively sort of toothy, but what I would tend to do is just neutralise that and maybe sand it back a little bit just to see what it looks like, and then we can always re-etch it. So I've got my neutraliser, so it will fizz quite a lot when I put it in there because it will neutralise in that acid. Kind of pretty cool really, the bit of alchemy. So make sure we neutralise that, and at that stage, before I even take it out of the neutraliser, I normally screw the lid back on that acid. I really get quite scared of this stuff, so you can't be over cautious when you're using things like that in the workshop. Like I say, preferably use it outdoors. So what I'll do is I'll make sure that I haven't got any acid on my gloves, and we can take it off our little wire. And normally what I do, you've got this sort of black oxide layer on there. Normally what I'll do is I'll just wipe it with my finger using some of that neutraliser to make sure that it goes into that sort of deep texture that's on the Damasteel. And you can already, I can feel the etch with my fingers, even through my gloves. I can feel that it's actually started to eat into the surface of the Damasteel. And already it's looking pretty good. Now the great thing about it, obviously when I first started using Damasteel, I thought, how's that going to work? Is it just going to eat away your logo and that to totally disappear? But you can see that it actually still leaves quite a good sort of impression of your maker's mark. Some people will put things like a resist, like nail polish or something like that, nail varnish, on any of the bits that they want to leave unetched. If you're making a very precise folder, so if you were actually making like a liner lock or something like that, you would put the nail polish on the pivot areas or where the detent ball runs and things like that. But with a little friction folder like that, it's not needed to. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. So what I'll actually do is I'll use a bit of polishing paste and I'll actually polish that back. Some people like that dark finish. I actually like a more polished finish to the Damasteel. So we'll polish that back with a bit of leather and a bit of polishing paste, and then we'll show you what it looks like finished. So I've just polished that blade back. I've used a little bit of leather with some Autosol as a polishing compound, and it's started to clean off that dark layer and brought it back to that lovely shiny finish on the Damasteel. And you can really start to see that contrasting pattern showing through, even right down onto the actual cutting edge, the bevel itself. And you can still see the logo pretty clear as well. Now that works really nicely. This is actually their rose pattern, so it's quite a tight finish, but obviously depending on what steel you choose, you'll end up revealing a different pattern. But yeah, I really like this Damasteel. I don't use a great deal of it because it's quite an expensive steel, but it does make a high performance blade. Now, the idea of Damascus, the idea of having those two sort of different steels and then etching it is on a microscopic level down that cutting edge. You'll end up with a sort of semi-serrated edge because you've got basically one harder piece of steel sticking out slightly further than the slightly softer steel. So yeah, a very aggressive, very high performance cutting edge really. So great for food prep, cutting string, things like that, where normally a straight edge with one uniform piece of steel might not have that same bite to it. So that's pretty much ready. I'm happy with the etch. So what I'll do is I'll put a bit more WD-40 on that, and then that will be fitted to the Nomad body, so it should be ready to go. And the person that's asked for that particular blade, I think they're going to really like that bit of Damasteel. So hope you've enjoyed watching that. Obviously be very careful when you're using acid. If you've got any questions, please just drop them in the comments below, and remember to tune in again for some more knife making top tips in the workshop, and we'll see you next time.